We'd been staring at each other for quite a while when he stopped and turned. He had something wet across his chin. He looked rabid, almost as if he wanted to devour me. And yet, I was probably 30 times his size. This very young, thirsty-looking wolf was right at the edge of the path where the camper van was parked. I hadn't seen an animal for years. Not since all the fires, not since the nuclear war, not since any of it. He looked so fragile, so small, so feral, almost furious as he limped toward me. I know enough about rabies to know to get the heck out of there. So that's what I did. There was no gas left. Of course, there were no gas stations, but we'd found a way to rig the van so that we didn't need gas. More about that later. But with the absence of the Earth's layers of protection, the sun was glaring so hard and fast that nobody could be outside for more than 5 minutes without burning. We had to wear the equivalent of what is now, what would be for you, 10 pairs of glasses just to look around outside. So what was our quality of life? Well, you'd be surprised. I didn't understand how the wolf was even there. Again, not only hadn't we seen animals for years, we hadn't seen anything born for years. I mean, as far as I knew it, the earth was sterile. Yeah, many years ago, I'd watched a movie based upon the P.D. James novel, Children of Men, where in one scene, Clive Owen is helping a young woman with her baby through a crowd of men who are fighting and engaging in combat. There's, the resistance was fighting what looked to be the army, the established army, wherever they were, presumably England. And everybody stops. It's like, cease fire. Everybody stops. And they bend down and they pray and they start to have this holy moment. There's a baby coming through in a place where for 19 or 20 years, no one has seen another human being born because nobody can procreate anymore. The world's going to end. This is the savior of humanity. This could be the chosen one. So the ceasefire starts. And there's this moment where you feel like humanity just might be saved because ceasefire. And then somebody throws a rock and all the fighting and guns go off again. And the baby is covered by the mom and they run for cover once again after they get through that building. It's a shocking scene because you just don't expect the army to stop fighting or put their guns down or make the symbol of Christ, any of it. You just don't expect it. The prayer and the awe. And it is that awe that keeps us present and alive. If you lose that awe, not just that, but the curiosity of just being mouth agape at another thing that happened in life, so precious. We can't miss those moments. And less dramatic ones, of course, like, watching a baby bird poke its beak out of this little tiny egg on my windowsill here. What joy this has been to watch the struggle to be born. It takes a lot to give birth and be born. It takes a lot. So I'm in my camper van and I'm thinking about this baby wolf and how it got there. And I just can't imagine how it's even finding fresh water. And I realize that down the road there is one of those animal husbandry businesses where they make the mechanical animals just like the novel by Philip K. Dick, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, later made into a movie that we used to love called Blade Runner. Now, you're too young to remember all this. But back in the day, Blade Runner was like the science fiction movie, supposedly set in the future. In this futuristic LA, where there were hovercrafts and spaceships. Let me tell you, that's not how it's going to go. I hate to break it to you. You've got a world that's going to be hurting unless we all do something. And we have to figure out what the most efficient do something is, because it's bad if you want to hear from the future what's really going to happen. This is no life at all. What I would recommend is finding alternatives to whatever fuel you're using, because, like I said, this camper van's not running on gas. We used to say another expression that you're not going to remember. It's, hey, now we're cooking with gas. No, we're not. There's no gas left. Turns out that when you deplete all the resources on a planet, you just go to the next and next and next, and pretty soon there's nothing. You'll be forced to use new technologies, new fuels. So I'm pacing in my camper van right now, thinking about the future or the past. And there is one thing that you humans need to know, since, we're all part of this one big family on Earth. So from the future of humanity, I'm going to tell you this. You are not in control. And I do mean everybody. There's going to be something landing on this planet that's going to blow your mind, and it's not from this galaxy. So while you're all bickering about who's president and who did what and what your neighbor said and who has a better car, let me tell you, you got bigger things to worry about. You have pieces of the universe that are going to come into view soon, and it's going to blow your mind. It's beyond all comprehension. Let's just say that not only are you not in charge, but there are forces beyond our wildest imagination that will change what you know about life. I am one of the last living human beings. I am here simply to document. That's the only reason they've left me alive. And I'm no threat because I can't really walk very well. Turns out this disease that I had back in the day called Parkinson's, ridiculous, somehow I was skipped over when they killed everybody because they wanted to study what was going on in my brain. So they put this little thing inside me that kept me alive. It's not all great. Living longer isn't necessarily a good thing, but it did stop the progression of Parkinson's. So from my camper, I'm able to study what's left of this earth, and the world without us is so breathtakingly beautiful. You should see how the trees are back in certain areas. Not everywhere, but certain areas. So when they're done with me, they're just going to remove this, whatever they put inside my spine here, and I'll be done. In the meantime, I hope somebody gets this recording. This is Martha. This is number 592 in the recordings of the last spell of Earth. Take good care.